All right, guys, happy Tuesday. Again, today you are going to need your notebooks and a pencil. You're going to go through this slideshow with me, completing the problems, and then you are going to take an end of lesson Google form. Finally, you need to complete 15 minutes of iReady. This is another reminder that over half of you received an email from me yesterday letting you know that you did not complete your iReady assignments from last week. Please know that each week I need to email home a report of missing assignments. So keep that in mind, please. All right. Just another reminder that this Friday is Red, White, and Blue Day. So this Friday, show your school spirit by dressing up in red, white, and blue, taking a picture of yourself, and using the link to upload it. We are continuing with the same math standards right now. Today, we're going to be looking at how we can evaluate expressions with multiple sets of parentheses, and we're also going to increase the number of steps in each problem. Again, if you did not get your notebook and a pencil, push pause on the video now and go get it. Everyone else, please open up to a clean page and get ready to go. All right, so again, you can see the steps up here. They have not changed. These are the steps for order of operations every time. But now when you look at this problem, you are going to see that I have parentheses on the outside here, and then I also have these two right here on the inside. That's called nested parentheses. I have parentheses inside parentheses. So let's take a look at how you would solve a problem like this. Remember, just like yesterday when we had multiple steps inside parentheses, you had to go back to the beginning of order of operations. So when I look at this problem, all right, the first thing you need to do is work inside these parentheses. But inside the parentheses, there's another set of parentheses. So believe it or not, this right here, that 16 divided by 4 is your first step. So if you haven't copied down the problem, go ahead and do that now. Then I want you to underline 16 divided by 4. I believe I said times earlier. My apologies. 16 divided by 4. Remember, you can push pause on the video if you need a little extra time to catch up. But we are copying this problem down and we are underlining our first step. This is our first step because we are working inside the parentheses. And once you're inside parentheses, you still have to follow these 3 steps. So that's why I'm doing this first. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So now you can see I've eliminated this set and I've brought down everything else I haven't used. So I still have this outer set of parentheses and I have 13 plus 4 and then this plus 4 over here. So the next thing that I have to do, again, following order of operations, is I still have to work inside these parentheses. So my next step here would be 13 plus 4. Go ahead and write that underneath. All right. And then you can see you've now gotten your problem all the way down to just the sum of 17 plus 4. So when you finish that answer up, you should get 21. Again, notice how we've increased the complexity of these types of problems where we have parentheses inside parentheses. So I need to solve everything inside this big group of parentheses, and I'm doing that by following order of operations. Again, doing this piece first, and then once I simplify 16 divided by 4 down to a 4, I do this step, and then so on, okay? All right, so let's take a look at another one. I want you to copy this problem down, and then I want you to push pause on the video and attempt this problem yourself. When you're ready, come back and we'll go over it. All right, so thinking about the first thing that you need to do is you have to solve everything with inside grouping symbols. Well, I notice that I have grouping symbols inside grouping symbols. So once I get inside this set of parentheses, I have to follow order of operations again. So the first thing you should have done is 18 minus 3. And when you do that, you should have gotten 15. So now you can see that my problem looks a little bit easier. I have 9 plus the product of 15 and 3. The product of means the answer to my multiplication problem. So now, again, I still have to work inside these parentheses, and I have to do 3 groups of 15. So you can see that I'm following, getting rid of, or solving all of my grouping symbols first. And then you can see that 15 times 3 is 45. So then you should have rewritten this last step as 9 plus 45 and gotten a final answer of 54. All right. So if you have a question on the first example and then this one that you've tried independently, it's a great time to reach out so that way I can go over more problems or answer your questions before you get to your exit ticket. And all you need to do is just send me an email or you can reach out through Google Classroom. All right, so let's take a look at this problem. So here you can see I have the sum of 14 and 16 divided by the sum of 2 and 3. This problem is a little bit different than what we've been doing in the previous days because I have 2 sets of parentheses, which means I need to do my grouping symbols first. So the first thing I'm going to do in this problem is this part here and this part here. So go ahead, if you haven't already, copy this problem down. Then I want you to solve inside each set of parentheses. So you're going to solve inside this grouping symbol, write it right underneath. Solve inside this grouping symbol, write it right underneath, and bring down your division sign. All right. So if you need more time, you can push pause on the video to catch up, but you can see that when I solve inside, 14 plus 16 is 30. So I did this set of grouping symbols, and then on this side, 2 plus 3 is 5, and I did this set of grouping symbols. So now you can see that my final step here to solve, or we're going to use the word evaluate this expression, is just to do 30 divided by 5. And you should have gotten 6. So again, the steps are the same. First, you're doing grouping symbols. Once you've gotten rid of all of your grouping symbols, you go to multiplying and dividing. If they're in the same problem, you do them from left to right. And then your last step is add and subtract left to right. All right. So now, this problem here, you can see that we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps here. So I want you to push pause on the video after you've copied the problem down, and I want you to use what you know from our previous examples and the steps of order of operations to try this one on your own. When you're ready, come back and push play. All right, so let's take a look here. So the first thing I have to do is my grouping symbols. So I have to do this piece right here. And when I'm inside my grouping symbols, I still have to follow order of operations. So I see a plus sign and I see a subtraction sign. Well, they both are right here on this step. And I can see that I do them from left to right. So that means I am going to do 18 plus 45, excuse me, not 18, 8 plus 45 first. All right, so you can see that 8 plus 45 is 53. 53 minus 3 is still inside the parentheses. And notice I brought down everything else. Well, I still have to do my grouping symbols. So my next step is this piece right here. All right, because grouping symbols come first. So you should have done 53 minus 3 and gotten 50, bringing down everything else that we haven't done. So now I notice that I have dividing and addition left. Well, when I look at my steps, I can see that my first step is grouping symbols. I'm all done that. Now I go to multiply and divide. So that means I have to do this piece first. So 50 divided by 25. How many groups of 25 can you make out of 50? Well, if I'm thinking money, 50 cents, quarters are 25 cents, and it takes 2 quarters to make 50. And then finally, here's your last step. So we have an evaluated expression that equals 8. All right. So those are your examples today. The last thing you need to do is head on over, complete your Google form. Make sure that you're copying the problems down in your notebooks and really following those steps. If you are feeling confused, you need to reach out to me before you attempt your Google form so I can answer your questions and provide you some feedback. Please don't forget your iReady assignments, as well as if you have any owed work, please do that as well. All right, guys, have a great